Hi everybody, Levi Clay here, and in today's video I am going to invite you on a journey with me. You see, earlier in the week I decided to go guitar shopping because I made a video recently talking about 5 guitars that I would absolutely love to own, and number 1 on that list was, of course, a very nice Strat, because I play in a soul band, so I need that really glassy Strat sound. As one of the sounds that I have to use when playing rhythm guitar. But I've never owned a really great Strat. I've owned Strats that played okay, I've owned Strats that sounded okay, but they never quite felt right. And I've played a lot of really nice Strats owned by friends and occasionally in a shop where I've just gone, oh, this is such a great Strat. It sounds really nice. It's got the feel and everything, and I just haven't been able to capture that. So I thought, well, I own a lot of very nice guitars. I have some on the wall there. And a lot of them I don't play. So fortunately, one of my local guitar shops, of course, is GuitarGuitar in Glasgow. So I thought I would take some guitars down there, trade some guitars in, and upgrade to something a little bit nicer. So I did have something in mind. I had one. Fortunately, they have a system in place where if they have guitars in other stores, you can move them to the store of your choice if you put a deposit down on the guitar. Totally refundable deposit. So I did have one guitar moved up from Newcastle because I thought I would enjoy playing that one. But yeah, here is my journey. Follow me. I feel I should take one of these home just because it's $7.99. I love that matte finish. How stunning is that?
So nice. Your face.
Do I want an SG in my life? Yes. But not that much.
It's hard not to laugh at you when you're saying things.
I miss my old SG. My old SG was beautiful. Do I want this 8.5 grand Les Paul? Yes, very much. That 8.5 grand is a lot of cheddar. Too much. This is good enough. Getting on that. Could I be a 335 man? No.
Why?
They're too big. So these smaller ones, like this is a 356. The body's much smaller than the 335s. They're a little bit more tolerable for me. So first up is that beautiful yellow custom shop Stratocaster, 60s style Strat. It has jumbo frets on it, classic 60s style pickups in there. And the first thing to address in this video is I knew that I would be going for something that had a relic look to it. And I know what a lot of people out there think when it comes to relic guitars. But I would say this, when you ask the question of were those battle scars earned or purchased? They're the same thing. I earned the money to buy this instrument. I earned these scars. I earned this look. But it's more than that. I like that kind of let's call it a rustic look. You know, I have a lot of, you know, old wood furniture in my house. Like, I like that kind of older, more beat up look. And sometimes the relic thing can be a little bit too much, but yeah, I like a little bit of relicing on my guitars. And I'll give you a good reason for that, actually. I can be quite clumsy. I can bang my guitars on things. When I play here in this chair, I scratch my guitar on the chair from time to time. Like, it happens. When you do that on a completely brand new shiny guitar, it's devastating. When you do that on a guitar that already looks pretty beat up, you never notice. So anyway, first up, yep, here is that yellow, graffiti yellow Strat. Of course, I did look at a lot more guitars in the store. I thought that I would be trying out some of the Suhr guitars, but to my previous point, every single Suhr guitar that they had in was a completely shiny, glossy, brand new guitar, and I knew that wasn't what I wanted to take home, so I actually didn't even bother trying one. Next up, though, I did try another custom shop Fender Strat. This one in surf green. It was about £600 more expensive than the yellow one. I've struggled to kind of work out how the pricing works on custom shop Strats, because there was a beautiful pink one there that was £5,000, which, you know, a whole £1,000 more than the one that was already more expensive than the yellow one. And yeah, I don't fully understand it, but I was absolutely up for giving this one a try. Beautiful look to it, lovely kind of checking on the body. Here's that guitar. But I wasn't here to just play Fender Strats. I was happy to go home with something that felt right. Not just physically, but felt right as a purchase. And one of the other brands that was recommended to me by my friend Ross to try out was the LSL stuff. Now, they had a beautiful LSL Strat in the booth that we were filming in, so I couldn't help but give it a go. And this is a really, really nice guitar. Really nice guitar. Very, very well made. Check it out. Sounds like this. Oh! Next up, Ross encouraged me to try out one of the PRS Silver Skies. I thought it was very unlikely that I would go for one of these guitars. I don't like the look, and I hate the thought of people thinking I'm a John Mayer fan. Not that I dislike John Mayer, but you know, you see a Silver Sky and you think John Mayer, and that wasn't really what I was going for. I'm going to throw the spoilers out on this one, and Ross says it at the end of this clip. I didn't like this guitar. It felt cheap. And as Ross pointed out, it was £1,000 less than the other guitars, but it still felt very cheap. It needed a setup. The strings were a little old on it, but everything down to the pots, well, not actually the pots, the covers, the actual knobs, felt like everything kind of felt cheap and plasticky. So it wasn't for me, but I did have fun playing it. So here it is.
Well, see, in saying that, it's 1,500 quid cheaper than,
That's true.
or 2 grand cheaper than both the other guitars. So
Now, the final guitar that I played, I wasn't out looking for, but it was in the booth, and it was a stunning, absolutely stunning looking guitar. And I was unfamiliar with the brand. They're called Atkin. £3,200 for a Strat. Definitely cheaper than some of those other guitars. But incredibly high quality build on this one. And yeah, I just had to play it, and it's very, very nice. Check it out. Okay, so 5 guitars, tried them all out. Which one did I like? Which one did I go home with? Let's do them working backwards. So the Atkin, stunner, absolute stunner. And I'll be honest, if Atkin the company were, if they were, it was a company that I worked with, I would happily play these guitars. It was a very, very, very nice Strat. And here's where I'm going to sound. I don't really know the right word for it, but as a consumer, as a cautious consumer, £3,200 is a lot of money to spend on a brand that nobody has heard of. Now, if you're buying a guitar that you're going to keep for life, not a problem, right? Because it doesn't matter. But who knows what's going to happen for me in the next, I have a habit of buying and selling guitars. So who knows what's going to happen for me? And with a guitar like that, although it was easily on par with every other guitar that I played, in fact, I think it was probably the best sounding of all of the guitars. At that kind of price point, it felt like, like buying an expensive car. The moment I walk out of that shop with that guitar, I've lost most of the money that I've spent. You are never going to recoup that. And as I'm definitely not a Strat player, I just couldn't bring myself to spend that. I couldn't bring myself to do that, essentially, because I traded in a lot of guitars to get a really nice Strat. I'd essentially have been giving those guitars away. So I couldn't go with the Atkin. Next, before that, we had the PRS, the Silver Sky. As I said, didn't like the feel of this. It felt cheap. And I wasn't going to buy a cheap guitar, but I also wasn't going to buy a John Mayer guitar. Next, the LSL. So the LSL, I loved the look of the LSL. The trem on it was a lot more modern, which actually I prefer. When you think of the trems on Strats, they can be a little bit loose. The old 6-point trem, they can definitely be a little bit loose. And what I mean by loose is I mean the tremolo arm. There can be a lot of wobble before anything actually happens. I don't like that. I like a more modern trem. So yeah, it had a much more modern trem. The only issue with this guitar is I felt that the string alignment was just a little bit shifted, just a little bit too high. Like the low E string was really close to coming off the edge of the neck, and the high E string was way off the side of the fretboard. So much so that when you really looked close at it, head on, you could see that the high E string wasn't even closely aligned to the magnetic pole piece on the neck pickup. It was way off. And that kind of annoyed me. But it played beautifully, which is a shame. So no, I didn't go with that one. So 2 Fenders left. Next up, we have the surf green Strat. Now this is a beautiful Strat, really nice Strat. We did find one kind of area on it where maybe it sounded a little bit woolly on the low end, like around the 15th fret on the low E string. But nothing that would bother me. I mean, what I'm going to say now is going to give you the answer. I didn't buy this Strat, but I have been spending the last week trying to work out a way that I could sell more things so I could go and buy that Strat. It was that good. It was very nice. I loved the look on it, and I guess there's kind of 2 reasons I didn't go for it. One, I couldn't understand why it was £500 more expensive than the yellow Strat. So that was definitely, an impact. And 2, it was also just a little bit plain, for lack of a better word. I come from that rock and metal background, so I like something that's eye-catching, and we've all seen a lot of Strats like this. There was another beautiful Strat that they had in. I didn't bother trying it. It was a custom shop. It was pre-owned, a custom shop red Strat that looked beautiful, but as you can see in this video, when I looked up close on it, when I really got up close on it, the frets were worn down quite significantly, and that was going to be an issue. But also there's that feeling of, well, I've seen a million red Strats. I've seen so many red Strats that you don't even look twice when you see a red Strat. So that brings us to, well, I'll just do it. That brings us to this yellow Strat, my new graffiti yellow custom shop Strat. This is a stunning instrument. You can see I've put a bit of tape here over the over the tremolo hole. That's just when I'm transporting it between gigs, because I've got the tension spring in there and I don't want it to fall out, because of course, as I say, you get like wobble on these old Strat arms and you really do need those tension springs. I know some people use Teflon tape. I didn't have any to hand, so tension spring, and then I put that over there. Someone should really make a little rubber stopper that you can place in there so that tension spring can stay in there and you don't lose it, because I don't want to have to keep using tape like this. Anyway, yeah, so this is a beautiful Strat. It's just a beautiful Strat. The relicking on it is acceptable, but the checking on the paint, all of these little cracks, just absolutely beautiful. The neck feels amazing, and my one concern with this when I ordered it, or not ordered it, when I asked them to move it up to Glasgow so I could try it out, was I was enamored by the looks. Simple as that. I saw this on the website and it looked so different from every other Strat that they had available that I just wanted to give it a try. And it had the impact that you would expect. Every guitar worker that saw this was like, oh, that's really cool. That's really different. And that was appealing to me. I like that. But when I had it moved, I didn't really take note of all the specs on the guitar. I was very much enamoured by the looks on the guitar. I thought that I was going to be going for something with a humbucker in the bridge, actually. But yeah, look on this was so nice. Anyway, the point that I'm getting at is I wasn't actually even sure of things like the pickups that were in it or the fret wire that was on it. So because this is a 60s Strat, I was expecting this to come out of the box and it to have these tiny little vintage frets. But it doesn't. It's got big-ass jumbo frets on it. So this guitar is... It's just well, I don't want to say it's made for me, but it just feels so right, and I love it very, very much. So much so that it's made me just immediately go Fender custom shop for life. I would happily order another custom shop Strat if they're coming out like this, or maybe even a master built Strat, because this is just, for the type of playing that I do and for the type of player that I am now, this is just the one. It's just, it feels so high quality, but it's got all of that classic vintage sound to it, which I'm just totally here for. So yeah, beautiful guitar, and I have already debuted it on a gig. So, you know, here's a little clip of it on a gig. And of course, you know, you can come and see us every 2 weeks in Glasgow. Just come and be impressed by Melissa's voice. And I'm more than likely going to be playing this because it's a stunner. So huge thank you to GuitarGuitar Glasgow for being wonderful. Spoilers, this wasn't the only guitar I bought. We do have another video coming with another very nice expensive guitar that I bought, but more on that in the future. In the meantime, check out my beautiful yellow Strat.
No more.